points and click Auto. Now I recommend to do that for all 4 points. So it was a really minimal adjustment overall, but our track is pretty solid now. You can see that when we go to the flip section of the shot, we lose the track. I'm going to leave it as it is and adjust those few frames in After Effects. The next step will be to click on the Track tab and export tracking data. Make sure that first layer is selected and that you are exporting After Effects corner pin data. I'm going to save this as 0101, and now we can move to After Effects and start compositing. Here we have same shot. It looks a little bit different because it was color corrected, but it's the same shot. And now we are going to use tracking data from Mocha and apply to the first image. But before we do that, let me show you what I did in Photoshop and how I prepared the image for use in After Effects. So here we are in Photoshop. What I did here is I took that high-res Photoshop file which was provided to me by Art Director, and I split it into 24 identical pieces. So I ended up with a Photoshop file with 24 layers, plus I had kept background layer which is full image intact in case I need it. I named each layer according to their position. So this is going to be W01 and this is going to be W02, 03 and so on. Now if we go back into After Effects, I imported that file as a Photoshop composition, so I have access to all individual layers. Then I took first layer and drag and drop it on Create New Composition button. Now if we go back to our main comp, I'm going to take that newly created composition and drop it in Timeline. We are going to make sure that new layer starts where our footage starts. Next step will be to take that tracking data from Mocha and apply to this layer. So let's go and find that file. This is 0101 text file. Double click on it, then select all and copy. Now we are going back to the After Effects. Make sure that image layer is selected and then paste tracking data. What happened now is we have our layer resized properly and moving how it should be, but it is not in the right place. So what I did is I lowered opacity first and I started moving anchor point until we place this layer into right position. So this is good. It works very well until we come to flip section, when we lose track completely. Now we are going to fix that. First select a layer, go to Effects Control, select Corner Pin Effect. And I'm also going to open Corner Pin keyframes in Timeline. Now we're going to start adjusting each corner point individually, so it goes into right place. Then we are going to move to the next frame and do it again. This is not big of a problem because flip happened pretty quickly. Usually it was 3 to 5 frames. So that's it. This is where our front part of the board is not visible anymore. So this is end of this layer. I'm going to select layer and press Option right bracket. That will bring end point of the layer to the position bar. Next, I will select all remaining keyframes from Corner Pin Effect and delete it. I'm going to show you one more way how to apply Mocha tracking data to the layer. In this case, layer will go to the position automatically without adjusting anchor point. We are going to make new composition with settings of our main comp, and in my case that is DVC Pro HD 720 23.976. I'm going to name that comp W01. Now I'm going to take previously created composition with our image layer and drag and drop into new composition. As you can see, this is much smaller, and our goal is to make this layer same size as our new composition. To do that, we will make sure that layer is selected and then go to Layer, Transform, Fit to Comp. Now, if we go back to our main composition, I will turn off this layer for now, and I'm going to bring the new W01 composition into our main comp. We are going to make sure that this layer starts where our background shot starts. Now we are going to go back to the tracking data layer. Even we have this file already copied, let's do it again. Select all, copy. Now we can paste this data to the layer. So here it is. It goes right into position and it matches movement of the board perfectly. Of course, until we come to the flip section, and here we can go again and adjust corner pin effect manually. This is probably better and more appropriate way of doing this, but why I didn't do it this way is because in this case we had to create one extra composition and rename it, and if you have to do that 168 times, that was just too many extra steps and I didn't have time for that. Now I'm going to delete this layer and I will show you one more thing I did. I felt the images I was putting on the boards were very flat and generic looking, and I wanted to add a little bit more shading and make them a little bit more interesting. So I took 4-color gradient filter and applied to the image. Then I changed default colors to black and white. Top 2 colors I changed to white, and lower 2 I changed to black. I also changed the blending mode to soft light. Now what I needed to do is to play with color positions until I find the right balance. I wanted to make lower left corner a little bit darker and right top corner a little bit lighter, so it has nice gradient and shading. I can lower opacity a little bit, and that's it. I was trying to match shading and gradation of original footage. As you can see, each board has different shading, so I tried to match that in most cases. Here's that layer with effect and without it. What I did on this one layer, I had to repeat 168 times. I worked 467 hours in 35 days on 2 commercials. It was really long and challenging project, but interesting one. I hope you find this presentation informative, and thank you for your time.